welcome back. How are you today? So in this video, there's been a lot of information coming through this morning about expectations and blockages, things that block us from communicating with our beautiful spirit guides. And expectations can be one of them. So let me walk you through this video and see if perhaps this is one of the issues that you are having as to why you're not having direct communication with your spirit team, or what may be in the way of you communicating with your beautiful spirit team. So expectations can be a huge block, huge. Because your spirit team could be talking to you all day long, communicating to you all day long because you've given them permission. They know they're allowed in and they're talking to you, but you're expecting them to come in, to show up a certain way. There's an expectation that they will appear a certain way for you. And that expectation many times is what makes us miss all the beautiful messages that are already sent, that have already been sent. Sometimes our beautiful spirit team uses other people to give us a message, especially if it's an important message. It's something that's for you on your path. And you are meant to know this information. They will send it to you via another person. It's not always necessarily a whispering in the ear or a sign that you will see on a big billboard somewhere that's like, whoa, that was exactly the answer to my question. Although, yes, sometimes that is the way. You know, for me, sometimes I'll ask a question. You know, I like playing with the universe anyway. I like having this playful nature of how the answer will appear. And sometimes it'll be in a Facebook post. I'll go onto Facebook, you know, to post up my own things, and then I catch up with what's going on in there, and all of a sudden, boom, there's the answer in a post, in a beautiful post. Now, a post that I read today on Facebook that it just touched my heart that I wanted to share here is that when you admire the light in someone else, when you admire someone, whoever that may be, and you are drawn towards their beautiful light, how much they shine in the world, there's something about them that draws you to them. The light that you see within them is also within you. These beautiful things that you are admiring in that person, you are noticing that, you are admiring that, because it is also within you. If you can see it, if you can notice it, it's in your field, it's in your energetic field. And you notice it for a reason. Everything is for a reason. You are watching these videos for a reason. Your spirit guides are constantly giving you messages through these videos all the time. You know, it was just as I was editing one of my videos today, and I was thinking, my goodness, this person has already received so many messages, so many signs from their beautiful spirit guide. You know, if you have a clear name of your spirit guide has already communicated with you that this is the spirit guide that's in your field, in your energetic field. You know, if Mother Mary keeps showing up, she is the spirit guide. Jesus, again, if he keeps showing up, he keeps coming in and out of your awareness, he is your spirit guide. A spirit guide isn't just an angel. It can be an ancestor. It can be a being that lived here many, many thousands of years ago. It's whoever we resonate with. And by resonate, it means that our frequencies are on the same. On the same. And that's why when that name comes up, like if I say the name Jesus, you'll feel a tingling or you'll feel a something. If I say Archangel Michael, again, there'll be a tingling or a yes. Mother Mary, again, when you hear the name, when you think of that name, see how it feels within your field. How does it feel inside you? Is there a knowing that this being is meant to be in your field? Archangel Gabriel, how does that name feel when it's presented to you, when you think about that name? Archangel Raphael, how does it feel within you, within your system, when you think of the name Archangel Raphael? How does it feel inside of you? It's like when you meet people, even, when you go to school and you make friends. Why do you make friends with certain people and not others? And this beautiful spirit team is the same. Why are we drawn towards some but not others? They're exactly the same. And one way you can play around with it is to sit with each name, just as I did before. I called in each name. I called in each being and asked you, how does that feel within your system? It can be Buddha. It can be anyone who's already been. It can be one of your ancestors. Anyone that's in the spirit world. Any being that's in the spirit world. That's in other realms. That's not here. In this dimension. I was listening to one of my beautiful videos this morning. It's one of my favorite videos. Embrace what resonates with you. And in there, I talk about if you notice it, it belongs to you. If you hear it, it belongs to you. It belongs to you, to your path, to your experience, to what you are meant to experience in this lifetime. If you are drawn to these videos and there's a very strong pull towards connecting to your spirit guides, chances are that this is part of your journey in this lifetime. Otherwise, you would be like me when they used to talk about past lifetimes. And every time the subject would come up about past lifetimes, I'd be like, oh, not this again. Because to me, it was made up stuff. It wasn't real. Until I had that experience. And that is the magic of experience in this realm. Once you've had the experience of, say, being in the presence of a spirit guide or having a past lifetime regression, once you have that experience, you don't need to believe that it's real or not. Belief doesn't even have anything to do with it. You know within your heart, you know that it's real. You know that it exists. Just like when you put a piece of chocolate in your mouth and it melts, that it's delicious. That kind of knowing. You don't need to believe that the chocolate's going to be delicious. You experience it. Once you've tasted your first piece of chocolate, you know that it's amazing. You know within yourself the experience of eating a piece of chocolate. And this is the same. It's not about believing that they are there or not. Belief can definitely guide you to be here because I believe that they exist. I believe that they exist. But we are not here for beliefs. If anything, we're here to let them go in these beautiful videos. We are here to know. And how do we do that? By having the experience. By having the experience. I could tell you all day long that angels exist. They exist, they exist. I can tell you all day long that you have a soul, that it's real. I can tell you all day long that when you die, you still go on. You do not end. Your body dies. You let go of this vessel. But it's not the end of you. It's the end of this lifetime, of this experience that you came to have. But you go on. You never end. You are infinite. And we are here for you to know these things more fully. Not just to believe, not just to, oh yes, it's a nice concept. But to know within yourself. Now, the problem with expectation. And you know, this was something that made my first relationship with my first partner so difficult. Is having all these expectations of what love looked like, for example. What does love look like? A person that really, really loves you, what does that look like? And so you put all these expectations on this person, that if you loved me, you would do this. And if you loved me, if you truly loved me, you would do this. And you would behave this way, and you would talk to me this way. All these expectations. And what does that do to a relationship when you put all of this pressure on that person? That this is what you are expecting from them, so that you feel loved by that person. It puts a lot of pressure on that person. And the most important thing is that they never live up to all your expectations. I know firsthand. That's what happened to me. No matter how many expectations I had of that partner, he could never live up to them. It was never good enough. Expectations. The problem here I'm finding from the comments that I'm reading, from what's coming through from people, is that you are putting these expectations on yourself. You are putting all this pressure on yourself that they need to appear a certain way, that they need to interact with you a certain way, rather than allowing the experience to flow, to happen the way it needs to happen. Now, I know in a previous video I spoke of the most important thing when your beautiful spirit guides come in is not the visual. It's not how beautiful they look and all the rest of it. It's the energy that they bring when they come into your space. And that energy that they bring when they come into your space is not something that you feel with your eyes. It's not something that you feel with your ears. It's something you feel in your energy, something you feel in your heart. Now, what I wanted to share in this video that came up today, I was remembering the first time that my spirit team actually came down in front of me. And I had a realization today. I was doing all these Reiki healings for my course that I needed to complete. And I'm trying to think, at least a month, my spirit team all stayed up in this space far away. I have talked about this before, but something new came up today that was absolutely beautiful. That is important for this video. So for a whole month, they showed up in this space far, far away. So far away, I could hardly see them. And my spirit team was just the angels at the time, the archangels that I had. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, and Metatron. I had 5 angels at the time. And this one day, I was working on this beautiful lady, and she wanted Mother Mary to come in. She didn't tell me this. I found out through the healing, through the Reiki healing. This was the first Reiki healing that I did, that my beautiful team decided to descend from that space. They came down, and I had Archangel Michael standing in front of me for a good, I would say, 10 minutes of earth time. Because when he came down from that space and he stood in front of me, I could not stop crying. I was so overwhelmed with love for this beautiful being, for how amazing this being looked. But what this brought up when he came and stood in my space was my unworthiness. And today, as I'm driving back from work, I was remembering when I was little, I was 10 years old, I was sent to Catholic school, to a private school. That whole time in that private school, all they talked about was the devil, and that the devil was going to take your soul, and that children are bad, everything we do is bad. And they made me feel so unworthy that I got to a point where I couldn't walk into a church. I would stand at the door and I would cry. And that was my year. I would wake up crying because I didn't want to go back to this school. I was terrified. I would go to bed, at night I would go to sleep and I would be crying because I knew I had to go back to that school the next day. And I didn't want to be reminded of what bad a person I was when I was only 10 years old and I hadn't done anything yet, So, in essence, I was a good person. At 10, I hadn't done anything. What can a 10-year-old possibly do that is evil, that is sinful, that is so bad that God would turn their back on them, And so in that whole year of being conditioned by the church, of how unworthy I was of being in the presence of God, of being in the presence of anything that's holy, that moment when Archangel Michael came down, it brought all of that up. But I stood my ground. No matter how unworthy I felt in that moment that he came in, and then Archangel Gabriel came in, and then Raphael, and then Uriel, and then Metatron came in. No matter how unworthy I felt, I breathed through it. And I thought, I do not want this moment to change just because I don't feel worthy. Because that's me, that's my problem. They wanted to be in my space. They were asking permission. When Archangel Michael came down, I could have said no. But in that moment, I felt so blessed. I felt so loved. It reminded me of all that was good in my heart when I was 10 that was taken away in that year at that school. All the beautiful things I was. And that I still am. And today, they were asking me to bring this through because there are many of you that feel like nothing's happened, like nothing's come through yet, like nothing is happening. And it could be this feeling that we are unworthy of being in their presence. And what they wanted to bring through today, more than anything, is how much they admire us for being here, for having this human experience. To come here and to be rejected, to come here and to be abused, to come here and to be molested, to have these human experiences that we may know ourselves more fully. It takes a lot of courage. It takes guts to do what we do. And yet we choose to come here and do it anyway. We know it's hard, but we do it anyway. Because what we get, what we gain, what the soul gains at the end of it is worth so much more. Is worth so much. And these beautiful angels, when I have called them in, or Mother Mary comes in, or Jesus comes in to these beautiful healings, the look of love and admiration that they have for us is just beyond words. It's the most beautiful feeling. We have been taught to put them up on a pedestal, and yet they have us up on a pedestal. They think we are amazing for doing what we do. So today, we ask, my beautiful team asks, that you set aside expectations. Don't put that pressure on yourself. Let it go. Just let it appear however it appears. When you say each name, sit with how that feels within you. Feel into the energy around you. Do you sense a presence? All of these things. We'll talk more in the next video of things that you can do. But today, this video, they wanted to let you know that you are more than worthy, because perhaps that is what is getting in the way of you having this beautiful connection with your spirit guides. All right, my beautiful beings, just allow. We'll talk more in the next one. I love you guys. Remember to click like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the messages. And I'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye for now.